Hey guys, I wanted to make a quick video, kind of an update to my last mods guide, since now we have the new DLC. Going to talk a little bit about using the load order tool set. This is the load order tool that I use for my mods with Mechwarrior 5. I'll kind of talk about how it's used and then the mods that I'm currently using. It's been about, I don't know, maybe almost 2 weeks now. Since, no, it's been just over a week. It dropped on a Thursday. So yeah, it's been like a week and a half since the DLC6 dropped. These are the mods that have been updated or didn't need an update in order to keep working. There may be others, but these are the ones that I felt necessary. The other ones I didn't bother trying if they're not in here. But real quick, we'll go over this. So with the load order tool, with this one in particular, you're going to set your file path here for where your mods are. This is basically the default one. It's in the user's app data. The app data folder is hidden by default, so you'll have to show hidden items in your Windows Explorer. But anyways, and then if you're using Steam or Epic Workshop, you can set the directory there. Another thing is the game version here. I haven't updated this. I actually never have, as long as I've been using this tool set through all the different DLCs, updates to the game and everything. But I know somebody else was commenting on my previous video that they were having issues using this when they changed this to the current game version, which I believe you could just type in there. You just type it in. If you change it to the current game version, then apparently that fixed some of the issues that they were having, and now I can't even click out of it. I don't know how that works really. But anyways, like I said, I've never had to do that. I didn't do it this time. It's still where I don't even know if this is the current game. I don't know what the current game version is, but try that. If you're having a problem, try it. Maybe that'll fix it. I don't know. So basically, when you're using this, you're gonna come in here. So you're gonna set your file path, and then I hit refresh every time I make changes to the mods. I don't know that you really have to if you're just changing mods, but if you're adding new ones or whatever, hit refresh, it'll add them in here. Select so I'm using the YAML DLC6, that's the load order that I'm using right now. So you can create a new one by typing it in here and then save. Save as, and it'll add it to this list. But basically in here you're going to have all your mods. Turn them on by hitting the check mark in the box next to true there. That's in the enabled column. But basically you just order them over here. You click on a box, you can type in, whatever number you want, and then enter, and that sets the order for that. So the lower the number, like number 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, those will load first, and then whatever is loaded further down the list, at like number 40, 50, whatever, those are going to overwrite or load on top of the ones that you loaded earlier in the list. So that's how the load order actually works. Trying to think if there's anything else important here, really. There's not really anything else important to know about that. Just type in the numbers for the order that you want until you got it all set up. I always sort this by load order. I think by default it's name maybe or something. But you saw me just a few seconds ago sort that by load order. I find that's the easiest. Once you've got them all typed in, hit save. It'll save it to the load order that you want. And then this is all on the create load orders tab, and this is the tab that you should be on by default when you open the program. But anyways, it's the create tab. Then you go to the preset load orders tab. Once you've created your load order, you're going to select it from the load order list here and hit apply load order. I'm not going to do it right now because I'm actually in the game right now, and once you do this, every time you apply a load order, even if it's the exact same one you had before, it's going to reset the game. So when you start the game up, it's going to tell you that all the mods are off. So I guess, that's what I'll go through next. Once you do, let's see. So then you'll want to come in here to your mods, and these will all be unchecked Typically, there might be one or two of them that remain checked, but after every time you apply a load order in lots, most of these will be unchecked. So you just come through, check all these again to turn them back on, hit apply, and you know, now they'll be on. Okay, and that's pretty much all there is to using the lots tool. Trying to think if there's anything else important. That's it, basically. So, I'll talk about the mods at this point that I'm currently using. Like I said, this is, what, 10 days or so, yeah, something like that. 10 days after DLC6 dropped. All of the, you know, all of the primary mods that I use, all the, you know, the mandatory mods, if you want to call them that, like VonBiomes, Coyote Missions, Scary Tanks, all the YAML mods, and then some, you know, mods that add some mechs, like exotic IS mech. Simple Zoom, didn't even need an update. Show nicknames Redux, that's just something for... but let's run through these real quick. So, right now, obviously, you're always going to want the compatibility pack. I always keep that in there even if there aren't any mods I'm using that require it, because a lot of mods do end up requiring it that I add later on. But at this point, basically, like I said, all these base mods that I use with everything it's just good to have that with them. Mod options, this is another one. And all the links to these will be in my in the description to the video, by the way. But anyways, mod options is used by a lot of these other mods just to give you a place in the game menu to go and change some of the options with the mods. Yeti's jump ship animation remover just gets rid of the jump ship animation. Pretty self-explanatory there. Star map mouse over, that's I mean that's a mandatory mod in my opinion. It just lets you see what missions, what level the missions are in each system from the star map without actually having to go to the systems. All the systems in your area, you can see the mission types, the level, and the factions that they're for. So that's a really helpful mod there. Oh, and the tonnage limit, I believe. Yeah. So that's... I just always use that no matter what other mods I'm using. So that's a good one. It works with everything. So nothing really affects it, at least so far that I know of. Advanced career start, that's one, I mean, it's just, you know, it's self-explanatory. Gives you advanced options for starting a new career, which you will see in my upcoming new playthrough start. Okay, apparently the dog wanted to come in. Isn't it great when they know how to open doors themselves? Anyways, well, open doors going one way at least. Where was I? So the advanced career start, that's self-explanatory. We have volatile. That's a really nice mod to have. There's a few different mods that do kind of the same thing. It just adds better explosions and effects to the game. I like volatile. It's constantly updated. It seems like every time there's a need to. You know, it's a newer one, but it works well with everything. So, and I like it. It's not over the top. I've seen some of the others that are like Hellfire and Brimstone, over the top in my opinion. They add explosions in ways that just aren't even realistic. Which can be cool, but I like to have a little bit more realism in my game. So, in my, you know, 1,000-year in the future warfare game. So, volatile, I like it. Use it if you like. If there's another one that you like to use it. They all kind of do the same thing, just in slightly different ways, right? Portrait overhaul. This changes 90% of the portraits in the game. Well, I would say all of them. I think the only ones it doesn't change are the new DLC ones, because this might have been updated for the DLC or not, but I don't think it changed. I haven't noticed a change to the like the arena commentators and that sort of stuff. But anyways, it updates a lot of the portraits in the game, even for like Rihanna and some of the NPCs. Show nicknames Redux. It's just I was having issues at one point where it wasn't saving the right nickname that I wanted to show for mechs where I had saved my loadout. So this fixed it. I don't honestly know if it's still necessary. I've just always kept it in there since then because why not? It works. I'm not having issues with it, so it fixed a problem I used to have and now I don't have it, so I keep it there. Simple zoom. I think most of you guys are familiar with that now. I just use this to allow me to zoom in a little bit further. I think it goes up to, so the normal zooms, I think, for vanilla are 2x and 4x. I could be wrong on that. Maybe it's 4x and 8x. Anyways, this gives you 8x. If the other two were 2 and 4, this goes up to 8x, and then there's the option to go up to a 16x as well, I believe. I think it was 16x. I have that turned off. I just need the 8x, and that's good enough for me. I just like being able to zoom in a little further than vanilla gives you the option to. There are some good mod options for that if you have the mod options, Bobert's mod options. There are some options in there. Like I said, you can turn on the 16x or turn that off if you don't want it. Anyways, better Cantina rewards. Kind of self-explanatory. Just gives you better rewards from Cantina missions. You know, the sea bills and the items that you're rewarded with, that sort of thing. Then we get into the YAML mods. I think just about everybody's familiar with these by now, but I'll talk about which ones I'm using, which ones I'm not using, because with my current playthrough that I'm planning on starting, I am using something a little different than what I was previously. So, we have, of course, yet another mech lab. You gotta have that as your base. Then you have yet another clan mech that adds all the clan mechs with yet another mech lab. Same thing with the IS mech, adds the inner sphere mechs. Then I added exotic inner sphere mechs because this adds a few more inner sphere mechs that are not. Dog's getting into something. Tissue or something. Anyways, exotic inner sphere mechs. It just adds a few others in there that I like to have. Yet another special variant. This adds some just different variants to, so it doesn't actually add any new mechs, but it adds new variants to mechs. Yet another equipment collection. Self-explanatory. It just adds a whole bunch of new equipment and changes some equipment and stuff, I believe. Lore-based mech variants. This is the YAML edition, of course. Again, this is a mod that adds variants to the game, kind of like yet another special variant. Yet another legendary mech. This one does add new mechs to the game, and then some variants for those mechs. It might even add some variants and legendaries for mechs, you know, vanilla mechs and whatever, by not adding new ones. But anyways, really good mod to have. Updated often. And so keep an eye out for updates to this mod. But I enjoy having it, and the mod author is really easy to get a hold of if you're on Discord. So, you know, if you're having issues with it, I've found he's very responsive. So that's always nice. That's the same for actually a lot of these mod authors. Get into the YAML Discord, and you can find that, you know, if you're having issues, they always seem happy to help if they can. So yet another, here's where we get into what I'm changing here. So you'll notice I didn't have yet another weapon or yet another weapon clan. That's because I switched those out for yet another revamped weapon, yet another revamped weapon clan, which actually these two come together in the same download. So you just download yet another revamped weapon mod, and so these are mods by Little Tex. He's gone through and changed how a lot of the weapons work, and while trying to keep it all balanced, right? There are other mods that change the weapons, but like Weapon Emporium and that sort of thing. And I actually haven't played with that one specifically, but some of them, you know, a lot of those mods, they make these really overpowered weapons that just make the game. I've played with like Clan Invasion before and the pirate weapons and stuff way back when I was first playing around with the YAML mods. The game wasn't fun anymore after like 5 missions of playing with those kind of weapons and equipment and stuff. So I like to keep my game more balanced, and that is something I kind of like about what Little Tex is doing with the revamped mods. So I decided in this upcoming playthrough, so I'm already using it now before I'm starting to record the new playthrough, but I'm going to use these revamped weapon mods instead of the yet another weapon mods. And they have all the same weapons in it, but it just kind of changes stats on them and that sort of thing, how they work. It adds some multiple ammo types for some weapons and that kind of stuff. So the reason I'm doing that now is because I've gotten a little bored, I guess you could say, with everything that's in the normal YAML stuff. So I wanted to try playing something that would add some new interest to it, because I love discovering new weapons, how new weapons work, ways that I can use them and work them in with other loadouts and all that kind of stuff. Right, I'm a builder, actually by profession, but I love putting things together and figuring them out, the strategy that goes into the analysis, all that kind of stuff. And so I enjoy the mech builds and trying to put together these weapon loadouts. So I thought it would be interesting to have some changes to how the weapons work while keeping it balanced. And so far I haven't been too disappointed, actually. I kind of like how some of the changes feel. I haven't played with it too much yet, though, so we'll get more into that. Then we have yet another revamped quirks. Now, I have been playing with this one for a little while. I added this in my last playthrough before the DLC, and I added it, I don't know, a few weeks before the DLC, I think. So I've been playing with it for a little bit, and I like it. I like how it's not perfect. There are some things that I feel like the old quirk system had that I might have liked to see brought over to this system as well, but I like a lot of the stuff that it adds as well to the quirks. So if you're interested, check that one out. I like it. I'm going to keep using it for this next playthrough. Yet another revamped weapon essentials and extras. Those also come with the revamped weapon mod. It's just some other stuff that the mod author has thrown in there. Pilot overhaul. This is a good one. This is what allows you to upgrade your pilot's skills beyond the vanilla max threshold, or so beyond level 60. And yeah, it just helps make your pilots a lot more. They evolve more with the game, with you as you play through the game, and so it adds a lot. That's basically a necessity, in my opinion. When you try playing vanilla without this, like, the pilots actually gain affinity for the mechs that they pilot most often. I was playing the vanilla DLC6 content where I didn't have that. It's like you could just throw whatever pilot into whatever mech, and it didn't really matter that much. With this, it kind of does. So that's nice to have. I really like that. I use it with every playthrough that I do. Scary tanks. The vehicles in the vanilla game are just so squishy, they're almost a joke. This makes them something you actually have to spend a little bit of time dealing with, especially when you get like tank swarms or whatever from Coyotes Missions. Those aren't such a walk in the park anymore. VTOLs can take more damage. They're not as easy to knock down. It makes them actually worth dealing with, whereas in the vanilla game it's almost like why do they even add them in there? The only thing that poses a challenge are the enemy mechs. So yeah, scary tanks, I play with that in every playthrough at this point, ever since I first used it. Coyotes Missions, I think everybody's pretty familiar with this. This adds a lot of new mission types, some other game features and mechanics. Big mod, changes the game a lot. Highly recommended. Love this mod. Always play with Coyotes Missions. I mean, there's not really even another option. There's been times I've thought about learning how to make missions for this game because I feel like I would like to, but if I made a mod with new mission types, I don't think anybody would use it because everybody uses Coyotes and he does such a good job with it. I mean, why try to compete? I'd just let him do it. If he needs help with it, like I said, I don't even know how to do it. I would have to learn, but it is something I'm actually somewhat interested in. VonBiomes, that's another one everybody's familiar with. This adds a lot of new biomes to the game, makes it all the vanilla biomes as well as all the new ones look amazing. Add some other stuff regarding the weather effects and that kind of thing. Really, it's a big file size mod. But if you can fit it on your machine, which on my old machine, I had trouble with that because I was running out of space, and that took up so much space that even when he would update it, I couldn't even download the update because I didn't have the 20 gigabytes or whatever it was to download the update. Not an issue anymore, but anyways, well worth it. It really upgrades the feel of the game, the quality of the environments that you're playing in. And upgrades the whole game overall, in my opinion. So that's a good one to have. That basically covers it. Trying trying to think what mods are in here that we aren't using that I used to use before. There's some mods that added mechs, like classic mech collection. I'm not using that anymore. It's not that I didn't like it. I really was. It's a good mod. The thing that I don't like about it is the aesthetic of it doesn't really fit with the rest of the game at this point. Really cool mechs though, cool design. If you've played the mod author was working on a Mechwarrior 2 remake mod, which looked really cool. It has one mission done so far for Clan Wolf, the first mission. So you can test it out and kind of see what he's doing there. But anyways, really looking forward to more of that. Hoping he's still working on that because it's actually a really cool concept. The classic mech designs work really well with something like that. But with all the other mechs that we use, the clan mechs and all this stuff, I was using it before because it added some mechs that just weren't in any of the other mods, but now most of the other mods have added all those mechs. So there's not really anything that you're getting, maybe one or two mechs from the classic mech collection that you're not getting from these other mods. So I'm not going to use that at this point, but I am really hoping that mod author keeps working on the Mechwarrior 2 remake, because that takes me back, man. I started with that game on BattleTech, well, Mechwarrior. I've never actually played the tabletop because I never knew anybody that played it, but I mean, I was playing Mechwarrior 2 as a little kid, you know, 8, 9, 10 years old and loving it. So I think other than that, what else am I? Oh, TT rules, the tabletop rules AI mod. I don't have that in here. I would like to. I haven't seen an update for it yet since the DLC dropped. I'm assuming it would need an update because there are, I mean, it would need to be updated with AI profiles for the arena missions, I would think. Not an expert, but that's just my guess. I haven't tried using it. It probably, if it doesn't crash the game, it probably would work okay for most missions. But once you get into the arena, I don't know what it would do. If it would just default to the vanilla AI behavior, or if they would just stand there because the mod doesn't have anything in it for their behavior. I don't know. Anyways, maybe somebody can comment if you've tested it out. Let me know if it might just crash the game if you try and load the game with it. But anyways, so I'm not using that one. If it gets updated for post DLC6, then I'll probably add it in at that point, but right now it's not in there. Other than that, I think that pretty much explains what I'm using. So these are the mods I'm going with right now. They work as far as I can tell. There's a few little bugs here and there with some of them. Like I've noticed, I've noticed a few bugs with the updates, but I know the mod authors are working day and night right now, getting these things all working smoothly with the new DLC. And for the most part, they are. I really haven't noticed hardly any issues, just a couple. So yeah. Test it out. Let me know in the comments if you guys got questions or if you're having issues. Maybe I can help. I'm not the best with this stuff. I just, this is what I've figured out over time. But anyways, once you have all your mods set up, you apply the load order. You just minimize this, keep it running in the background, and then go on playing your game. Like I said, make sure these are all checked in here. After you check these, after you start it the first time, you're gonna have to restart the game. So check all these, go back, quit, and go out and then come start the game up again, and it should work fine. Yeah, I think that covers it for mods, guys. This will be our DLC6 update to the mods guide. If I add a significant number of other mods as we go further into the next couple months, I may do an update video kind of talking about other mods I've added along the way. Although I do always mention those, or I try to always mention those in my playthrough videos. So if you're watching the playthrough, you'll probably hear about those as I add them. But anyways, sounds like, I think I saw somebody saying or read somewhere that there will be another DLC. I think it was actually announced. Nothing about it, just that there will be one. And which would make sense, because I'm assuming that Mechwarrior 5 Clans is not going to come out till the end of the year. And they usually, it seems like they do a DLC, like once a quarter, every few months. So it makes sense to me they'd do one more in the summer. And then in the fall, we'll probably, at the earliest, in the fall, we'll get a release of Clans. Would be my expectation. So, Anyways, guys, hope this helps you if you're still having issues with mods or you're just wondering what mods are working right now in DLC6. I hope this video helped you out. Anyways, I'll see you next time.